Hi friends, this is Sarojin here. Welcome to my networking channel. Hope all are doing good. And today let us discuss the redistribution between EIGRP and OSPF. So these are three routers I define. R1 I am going to configure EIGRP as a routing protocol, and R3 I am going to define OSPF as a routing protocol, and R2 is a border router which will perform the redistribution from EIGRP to OSPF and OSPF into EIGRP. So at least we have to configure at least one redistribution point which is going to perform the redistribution. So now let us go to the individual router and let us define the routing protocol. So I already defined the directly connected interfaces. So now let us go to R1 and let us configure the EIGRP. So R1 I'm going to configure EIGRP, router EIGRP 100. Then let us define the network 192.168.1.0. This is a network, right? Followed by the wildcard mask. Then click no auto summary. Similar way, let us go to R3. I'm going to configure the OSPF, right? So R3, I'm going to configure the OSPF. This is a network 192.168.2.0. So go to the configuration mode, router OSPF 100. Network is 192.168.2.0 followed by 0.0.0.25 followed by area 0. That is the area 0 is the default backbone area. So I define both the routing protocol, RIP and OSPF on R1 and R3. And R2 I'm going to define both the routing protocol. So then only it will perform the redistribution. So and also the network advertised network should be there in the routing protocol for performing the redistribution. Or because R2 is a border router. Go to the configuration mode, router EIGRP 100. So it is connecting two networks, right? 192.168.1.0 followed by the wildcard mask. Similar way, 192.168.2.0. So because this is connecting two networks, one dot interface and two dot interface, right? So these two networks I'm defining, followed by no auto summary. Then we'll configure OSPF because we are going to perform redistribution between EIGRP and OSPF, right? OSPF 100 network is 192.168.1.0 followed by 0.0.0.25. That's the wildcard mask followed by area 0. Similar way, 192.168.2.0, right? So yeah, that's all we are done with this. Now we'll perform the redistribution. Go to the configuration mode, router EIGRP 100. Now let us do a redistribution. So redistribution OSPF 100 because we are going to redistribute between OSPF to EIGRP, EIGRP to OSPF. First we'll perform the redistribution from OSPF into EIGRP, and the metric I am going to define what we call it as a seed metric in case of redistribution. So now let us define the metric, right? So metric followed by the bandwidth. Let us assign 10,000. Any bandwidth as per the requirement you can assign. Bandwidth, then it will be delay. Delay let us give 100. Then it will be reliability 255. Then the met loading 1 followed by the MTU, right? So 1500. So this is a metric you have to assign. This is a format bandwidth, load, bandwidth, delay, reliability, load, and MTU, right? So this metric we call it as a seed metric. This is because this is a metric always the EIGRP should understand, because whenever you are redistributing from one routing protocol into this routing protocol, so this EIGRP has to understand the metric, what the metric we call it as a seed metric. So that is the protocol they define in redistribution. So after that, now go to the configuration mode, and again we'll perform the redistribution for OSPF. So OSPF 100 redistribute EIGRP 100 followed by the we have to define the metric, right? So metric is, so whenever I am redistributing into OSPF, the default will be taking as 20. So let us define the metric 30, and then we have to define the keyword subnets. Okay, so I done with the redistribution. So now let us check the routing protocol. Let us go to R1, show IP route. So not seeing anything, right? So let us go to R3 and let us check it out. Show IP route. So I'm not seeing anything. So there is some issues there. Let us check it out. Show IP interface brief. Okay, so this is the issue, right? So let us configure the directly connected interfaces. Let us configure the interfaces first. Let us go to R1 and go to configuration mode. Interface. What is the interfaces? Fast Ethernet 0 by 0. So fast Ethernet 0 by 0. IP address is 192.168.1.1. 255.255.255.0. Let us do a no shut. Similar way, that is the reason it's not advertising. Show IP interface div. So we're not seeing here, right? So go to configuration mode, interface, fast Ethernet 0x0. So we have to define the interface 1.2 and 2.1, right? So IP address is 192.168.1.2, 255.255.255.0, followed by no shut. Go to configuration mode, interface 0x1, right? This is 0x1. So let us define the interface as 2.1. 2.1. Let us do a no shut. Similar way, let us go to R3. Go to the configuration mode. So the interface fast Ethernet 0x1, right? So always you have to check there first the directly connected interfaces. That is the first step you have to check. So now 2.2. 192.168.2.2, 255.255.255.0. So no shut. So everything is up. Let us check now R1. So R1 is also came up. So now let us check the routing table. Show IP route. So now you are able to see the entries. Right? 1.network and 2.network. Let us ping it. 192.168.1.1 I am able to reach. 1.2, 2.1, 2.2 I am able to reach. So let us see. So 2.2 still we are not able to reach. Let us check it out. R2 show IP interface brief. So 1.2 is up, 2.1 is up. Yeah, 2.2 now it is coming up, right? So now it should be able to reachable. So 2.2 is reachable. Similarly, let us check from R3. Show being 192.168.1.1, 1.2 I am able to reach. 2.1 and 2.2 I am able to reach. So now let us, I'm going to do one more thing. I have defined the loopback address here 1.1.1 and 3.3.3 I define on R3 because I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm going to define the loopback address and I'm going to advertise that loopback address in the network statement. Similarly in OSPF network statement I'm going to advertise 3.3.3 network. So let us go to advertise. Go to configuration mode, router EIGRP, right? EIGRP 100 and the network is 1.1.0.0.0.0.2. That's a wildcard mask. Similarly, let us go to R3 configuration mode. So router OSPF, right? OSPF 100 and the network is 3.3.0.0.0.0.25 area 0. So this loopback address I already defined. Let us check it out. Still we have defined it or not. Show IP interface brief. Otherwise we have to define that loopback address. So still it is not there, right? So we'll define it. Configuration mode, interface, loopback 1, IP address is 3.3.3, 255.255.255.255. Similar way, let us go to R1 and let us define the loopback address. Go to the configuration mode, interface loopback 1, IP address is 1.1.1. So now it is coming up, right? 255.255. So I defined the loopback address. So and I advertise in the network statement. So now let us check it out. I want to show you because R1 whenever I define a loopback address, when this address is advertised into this routing table, what happens? So this will show up as OE2 because for OSPF EIGRP is an external route. It will advertise OE2 and similar way. This metric you will see it as 30. You have set the metric seed metric as 30. You can see it as 30. Similar way, OSPF when it redistributing into EIGRP, it will show us DEX. That is the external route for EIGRP. So for EIGRP, OSPF is an external route. It will show us DEX. So I'm going to show the routes. Let us go to the R1 and let us check the routing table. Show IP route. So you were able to see, right? I told DEX. So DEX is nothing but external route to the EIGRP. So external route always has an administrative distance of 170. That is the reason we are seeing here. 170 is an administrative distance, right? You are able to see, right? Administrative distance. And similar way, let us go to R3 and let us check the routing table. Show IP route. You can see it as OE2. You are able to see, right? OE2 1.1.1. And I had already told this is the administrative distance and this is the metric what you have defined. This is the metric you have defined, right? 30. So for the external route it will show us 30 and for the other routes you are able to see OSPF route default metric is 20. So that is the only difference you have to always understand while redistribution between EIGRP and the OSPF. So I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos. Thanks and have a wonderful day.